Greetings, fellow humans. So today we're going to do a little bit of image processing. We're going to do some data set preparation. Basically, we're going to collect a bunch of images with the ultimate goal of training a LoRA for automatic 1111 or Comfy UI or any of the other stable diffusion-based image generation software out there. To do this, we're going to start with a repository of images that's fairly well known. We're going to basically start at the beginning of the data set, and we're going to pop into the console here, break that off into a separate window so that it doesn't interfere. And I'm actually going to increase the window to the maximum so that it encourages Instagram to show us the highest resolution image that it's got. All right, so let's take a look at our little script here that we wrote. This basically defines a bunch of helper functions and then calls one of them. And I mean, you can look through the code, it's pretty simple, but basically what it does is it finds any images on the page and downloads them. Then it clicks the next button. If it was able to click the next button, it sets a timeout for 1 second and does the whole thing again. So let's go ahead and kick that off. And it's going to download all of those to our download directory. And this will take a while, so I'll see you when it's done. And we're done. Okay, so we have downloaded well over 2,000 images here, many of which are not useful. So let's go ahead and reduce that number by weeding out the garbage images here. We're going to use a script that I wrote, which is basically going to check in the raw directory. So let's create a raw directory and put our images in there. All right, we've got our images. We're going to filter the images and put them into a directory called found. So let's create that. And let's create one final directory here. And we're going to put our good images in there. So basically we're going to pick a handful of images from the raw images. And we'll say these are good pictures of our subject. Use them as a reference. So we want our subject with a number of different expressions on his face, looking in a number of different directions. I think this is a better image than that image, so let's grab that. Here's a smile. Smiles are good. Let's grab one looking off to his right. Good enough. All right, so here we've got 4 images, different poses, different expressions, and we'll use those to identify the good images. So let's grab that and let's do a little bit of regex on it here. First, let's do that. Regular expression. All right, now we've got a list. All right, let's replace the old list with the new list. All right, so we've got our good images. We're going to check the raw directory. We're going to put them in the found directory. We're targeting a size of 1024 by 1024 for Stable Diffusion XL. We want our subject to cover at least 3/4 of the area. We're going to use a similarity factor of 0.6, which is probably good enough. And let's go ahead and kick this off. See what it does. All right. We're going to run the batch find script, which just calls our Python 16 times, passing in a different index for each. If you take a look at the main function here, basically we take a hash of the file name, and if the modulus is equal to our index, then we process it in this thread. So basically this just kicks and runs our script in parallel. So let's do that now. Boopity boop. There we go. And there we go. This will take a few minutes, but it should give us a bunch of images of our subject. Now we do actually filter for multiple faces, but sometimes they skip through anyway, so we're going to need to manually filter the images when we're all done. But instead of having to go through 2,000 plus images, we'll have to go through maybe 100 or 200 images. So this should take another, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes, and I'll see you then. And we're done. So let's go ahead and take a look at the images that we've collected here. Most of these are going to be just fine, but like I said, there's going to be a handful of extra faces that slip through, and I'm going to be relatively brutal here in terms of deleting images that I don't think are going to add to our training data set, or that would introduce things to our data set that we don't want in there, like other people's faces. All right, there we go. And we've got, let's see, how many images did we end up with? 311 out of 2,275. All right, well, that's more than enough to train a decent SDXL LoRA. And I think we'll leave it there. So if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments. And, well, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for sticking with me. We'll catch you next time. Cheers.